Yo YouTube, what's going on? It's HIGHMMA and today we are here to discuss the recent pay-per-view. UFC 310 took place this weekend, and today we're just going to run through the whole card. Well, not every single fight, just the most important fights, the most interesting ones, starting with Pantoja versus Asakura. What a crazy fight. Didn't go how I expected. Well, you know what? I kind of saw a way this could play out, but I was leaning more towards Asakura. I overrated his technical ability, and I also overrated his, overestimated is the better word. Overestimated his knockout power. It was not there. We saw that when he flying kneed Pantoja in the face in the first, and Pantoja had no fucking reaction. I kind of looked at Glot Tables, who I was live with at the time, and we both had the same expression. It was just like, shit, you know, because we realized that our pick was wrong. We thought that Asakura had the knockout power to take out Pantoja, and he just didn't. He didn't. So there's not really much more we can say about the Asakura-Pantoja fight. Pantoja actually looks really good, you know, really fast, heavy hands. His scrambling ability still there, of course. Who does he fight next? I don't fucking know. Like, another Royval fight where he's going to win? I don't fucking know, man. There's not much more to say. Like I said, I don't think this fight has really proved much to us now. All it really proved was Asakura wasn't as good as some were expecting. The next fight to discuss was arguably the most anticipated one on the card. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Garry, playing out a little differently from how I expected, but I still saw it going this way, in a way. Listen, Shavkat Rakhmonov, I never ever expected him to not be able to go 5 rounds. He was able to go 5 rounds. Now, Garry just did not have the fucking strength for this fight. I said it in the lead up. We saw it in the grappling. Bro, you know, people were annoyed that Shavkat was, like, clinching so much. But why wouldn't he, knowing he has an insane strength advantage? Why would he stand and bang knowing that Garry has the better stand-up ability when he knows he can just clinch him and manhandle him? Because Garry is a vegan. I'm not saying this to disrespect him or make fun. It's just one of the reasons that he got set back. Also, the grappling ability. You know, we saw Garry nearly finish Shavkat a couple times, actually, before I, you know, start overrating Shavkat. But still, I just don't feel like Garry actually had the strength to finish those submissions he went for, like I said in the lead-up. And we saw Shavkat displaying a lot of his heart and grit. I feel like he showed that he could take a lot of damage in this fight, which is really impressive from him. But in terms of his actual finishing ability, his stand-up, I wasn't impressed by too much. His stand-up didn't look great. Don't get me wrong, he had a couple really good overhands at points. But Garry seemed to be controlling the stand-up for the most part. I mean, those fucking front leg kicks were doing really well. I was super impressed by both of them. Garry showing that, you know, Shavkat isn't unbeatable, as he's been fucking crying about on Instagram since the fucking fight. But, you know, all in all, I want to give props to both. I was very impressed. I got my pick right. Shavkat Rakhmonov, let's fucking go. You know, it was nice to get at least one of the main 2 fights on the card right. I was really annoyed when I realized Asakura was not getting that win. We still have Pantoja as champ. But let's keep moving through the card because there's a pretty controversial fight to talk about next. It is Gane versus Alexander Volkov. What a weird fight. I really did not see it going this way. Volkov getting that win in my eyes. Now, as we all know, there was a fucking horrific decision and it went to Gane for some reason. I mean, all across the fight, Volkov seemed to be dominating me. He was way quicker. You know, he was way quicker to use more tools in his bag, which I was really surprised by because I felt like, you know, Gane was the one with the more advanced skill set. But, you know, Volkov proved me wrong. He fought a really good game. Gane didn't really look that good. He said he broke his toes early in the fight. That might explain why his movement was a little off. But I just feel like Alexander Volkov was beating the shit out of him. Those head kicks were working really well. The body kicks. I was super impressed. You know, Gane had like a couple of decent moments, but for the most part, Volkov was winning. He was getting fucking takedowns, bro. Volkov was getting takedowns. I said in the lead up this wasn't even going to happen, and somehow they still gave it to Gane. It is insane. You know, I picked Gane. I guess I got my pick right, but I personally don't feel like I really got my pick right. I feel like Volkov won that fight, and he deserved the win. So it was annoying to see. In a really nice world, we'd be seeing an Aspinall versus Volkov rematch down the line. Now we probably won't because Volkov is like 37, and I feel like people overestimate, you know, how young he is. Like, bro, he's had a long career. He used to be a Bellator champ, bro. Like, think about this shit. He's been in the game for a long time. He doesn't have that long left. And this fight might have just ruined his fucking career. So it is really sad to see. But I guess this is alright to Gane. I guess he's just fucking blobbed his way into a title fight again. Really fucking annoying to see, but it is what it is. Let's not complain about it like a couple of left lane MMAs. Let's keep moving through today's video. The next fight we are going to talk about is Evloev versus Sterling. Another fight that I got right. Evloev getting that win, and I feel like in this fight, the main reason why Aljamain Sterling lost is he was being too patient. He was fighting a little bit too much like he was in a 5-round fight. I feel like Evloev understood that he needed to get some hustle going, you know. Sterling had some good moments. He slammed fucking Evloev a couple times. He showed some real good strength and also grit, because Evloev was really hanging in there in the grappling. He had some great moments, some great sweeps. And, you know, Aljamain was hanging in. A couple of points he was backpacking. He was looking really good, almost got some chokes. But Evloev had the grappling ability to get them off, like I said in the lead up, and I feel like he was strong enough also to advance position on Sterling at times, and I feel like all of those little shots that he was throwing on the ground slowly accumulated on the scorecards to just edge him that win. I feel like he deserved this win, and I feel like it was just an example of really good fight IQ, advantage in fight IQ over Sterling, clearly, because he got the fucking win. And I'm not trying to glaze Evloev here, I'm just pointing it out how it is. Even Sterling kind of alluded to this in his recent podcast episode. He was saying, you know, Evloev was throwing too much on the ground. Even though they were small, they were adding up over time. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, Evloev was looking crispy on the feet. I'm really impressed with his stand-up. I feel like it's low-key underrated, bro. And I really want to see the fucking Lopez versus Evloev rematch. I feel like Evloev fucking dog walks him, and that Lopez would just get ragdolled, honestly. That's what I feel like happens. You know what? There's not really much more I can say about this fight, bro. What the fuck does Sterling do next? Like, maybe Bryce Mitchell? Who knows? Lerone Murphy, maybe? That could be cool. Sterling versus Lerone Murphy? I wouldn't say no. But let's keep moving through the fights that we've got to talk about today. The next one is Bryan Battle versus Randy Brown. A very disappointing fight. I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a stand-up war, but it was a clinch fest. Listen, man, I think this was just another example of high IQ from Bryan Battle. Right from the get-go, he realized that Randy Brown was way quicker and a little bit more powerful on the feet. It just seemed like his hits had a lot more sting on him. And Bryan Battle couldn't really get going. He was a little bit, you know, heavy-footed, flat-footed, I should say. His chin was up in the air. Randy Brown was running circles around him, but in the clinching, Randy Brown wasn't doing as well. Bryan Battle managed to keep him up against the fence, landing some knees. You know, he fought a really boring fight, but it wasn't a bad one. You know, he secured the win. There wasn't any question about who the winner should have been. I've seen some people saying it was a robbery. I don't think so, personally. But it is what it is. Bryan Battle still keeping himself in the win column. He should be getting a ranked opponent next. I think like a Morales fight, maybe, if they feel like giving him something good. I think they're going to do MVP versus Sharabullet Magomedov, but if they don't, maybe the MVP fight, that could be pretty cool. If they're feeling like being crazy, they could give Ian Garry a layup and throw Bryan Battle up there in the picture. I'm just thinking outside the box here. That could be a cool fight where Ian Garry could probably get some kind of sick finish. I feel like he could potentially finish Bryan Battle. Who knows? Cody Durden versus Joshua Van. Another fight that I predicted perfectly. I knew that Joshua Van was going to go in there and beat the brakes off of Cody Durden. Listen, Cody Durden just does not have the stand-up to be fucking standing and banging with someone like Joshua Van, bro. This guy has next level fight IQ. You always see him early in the fights. He's reading, he's downloading data on his opponents, and he punishes them with that data later, because we saw him just absolutely running rings around Durden. He was fucking using that jab really well. Durden's nose was like a fucking balloon, bro. It was crazy, an absolute beatdown. Joshua Van getting a really good win here. I think that they should give him something big next. You know, he's on a 2-fight win streak now since that KO loss to who the fuck was it? I don't even remember. But he took a knockout loss earlier this year. Pulling it back now. I say they should reward him with a big fight. Maybe like a Makayev when he comes back, or a Manel Cap. Who the fuck knows? Give him someone scrappy. Throw it on a Fight Night main event. Let him get some hype, and I think that people will love this guy because he's a fucking tank, and he's from Myanmar, which is fucking sick. So I'm fucking rooting for Joshua Van. Let's give him something big. But moving on through the card, the next fight we're going to talk about is Dominic Reyes versus Anthony Smith. Man, oh man, oh man. Lionheart proving that Lionheart again, curling up in a ball on the floor. I know everyone said it, and I know that everyone has been like, oh yeah, but I feel bad about the guy that passed away, and I'm going to do the exact same thing because I do as well. But in terms of just the fight alone, Anthony Smith looked absolutely fucking terrible, and he kind of retired in the octagon. So I guess there's not really too much to take away from this fight other than Dom Reyes looks pretty fresh, man. You know, not the best, but fresh enough. Fresh enough to maybe take out like a Rakic, as a lot of people have been saying. But what I think maybe might be a bit more interesting is if they give Khalil Roundtree a layup kind of fight. Throw in Dom Reyes, let him finish Dom, and then bounce back into a huge fight. I don't know if they should necessarily gift him a really big fight now, just because he lost a title fight, you know what I mean? I know he did well in that fight, but I want to stay realistic, and I don't want to just glaze Dom Reyes like a lot of people are doing. I want to be kind of harsh with the matchmaking. So what about this fight is all I'm saying. I feel like it could be pretty cool. What next for Anthony Smith? He goes back to the fucking pre-fight show on ESPN, I don't fucking know, bro. But let's keep moving through today's video. The next fight we've got to talk about is Vicente Luque versus Themba Gorimbo. Wow, what a fucking fight. You know what? I gotta take my hat off to Vicente Luque. I was counting him out going into this fight. I saw the fucking Jeff Neal fight, the fact that he's been finished, you know, it mounted up on me. I know that he has an insane amount of finishes. It is super, super impressive. I did not think that his finishing ability was still there and was still that fucking ferocious, bro. I mean, the speed of which he jumped on that choke is insane. The power he's got is still insane enough to be putting out Gorimbo. I thought Gorimbo was gonna keep distance and slow down the fight, but he just didn't. He tried to get right in the pocket and he paid for it against Luque. Really, really good win. What does Luque do next? I don't know, but I am just super fucking glad that Nick Diaz fight did not happen. But listen, people, this was the last fight that I was breaking down in today's video. Sorry that it's a bit of a rushed one. I've been working all day. I gotta go train. I got shit to do, but we've got some big videos dropping in the upcoming week, so keep your eyes open. And thank you all for watching. You know what I'm gonna say. You don't have to like. You don't have to subscribe. Do what the fuck you want, man. But have a good day, evening, night, whatever the fuck you're doing, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.